Monday afternoon, you couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day for one of the ugliest rivalries in sports to play out as the Broncos and Raiders met at Empower Field. The Broncos got off to the fast start they were hoping for, snapping a 24-game opening drive scoring drought, but with untimely turnovers, missed connections, poor protection, and costly penalties, they just couldn't maintain that momentum. Defensively, it was a tough day for the Broncos secondary, giving up 7 plays of 25 yards or more, which Coach Fangio cited as the difference in the game. Here's a look back at how the Raiders got the first win of the series on Sunday.
Welcome to Empower Field at Mile High as the Broncos are home once again, this time to host the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a series dating back to 1960. Both teams come into this game with identical records of 3-2. Both teams right now on 2-game losing streaks.
If I was them, I'd be looking for this game to get back on track, and we need this game as well to get back on track. So it's got all the makings for a really good game. We just got to win. We got to go out there and we got to play well from start to finish.
Thank you, Broncos Country. Let's beat the Raiders! Let's go!
Patrick with the catch and run. Denver touchdown. An 84-yard touchdown drive.
Carr looking for Drake, and he got it! Drake inside the 5, and he's in for a touchdown! Here he comes. Carr throws it up for Ruggs, and Ruggs with the catch!
Hands it off to Williams. He's got the edge. He leaps over the top of a Raider defender. Man, he got some air. Big run by the Broncos rookie. Sutton makes one miss. Sutton goes hard to the goal line. Rolls into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Disappointing day for sure. Final score, Raiders 34, Broncos 24.
Now Ryan Harris joins me as we delve into the matchup thanks to FanDuel. Ryan, the Broncos need to have a short memory given the short week, but there are certain aspects of this game they have to remember if they want to beat the Browns. So let's look at some of the good and the bad from the matchup, starting with that opening drive touchdown to Tim Patrick.
Yeah, and this touchdown happens because of 2 things. Number 1, Teddy Bridgewater is going to move in the pocket, creating some space. But then Tim Patrick, I'm going to introduce you to a term that a coach I played for used all the time. If you want to have fun, get low. Tim Patrick's going to get low, create the separation, and that really is what makes this play happen. So once Teddy Bridgewater steps up here and then Tim Patrick makes his move on the defender, the play pretty much takes care of itself. And this is one of those things that you love to see against the Raiders. Oh, punish him. Oh, where'd you go? You got lost? And Teddy Bridgewater making the throw, and then here Tim Patrick just turning the corner and scoring. Those are the kind of plays that you love if you're a quarterback and a receiver. Those are the pitch and catches that make the team happy, and that's really what we saw on this play. 2 veterans doing their techniques perfectly and executing for a touchdown.
I know people call him Timmy Pats, but what do you think about like TD Timmy, touchdown Timmy, something like that?
I like touchdown Timmy. I mean, he's been doing it all year, so he's been giving us a couple of nicknames to go with.
Yeah, definitely one of the most underrated pass catchers in the league. But now let's move along. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. It is a critical point in this game, given the fact that the Broncos and Raiders had exchanged scoring drives up until this point, but this is where we see an uncharacteristic mistake by Teddy Bridgewater.
And Teddy really hasn't been as sharp since his concussion, but this is also on the coaches. This is a 4th and 2 play in your own territory. Not a lot of coaches in the NFL are going to do that. But a couple of things are going to happen here. I want to show you something that they call the sup look. The Sam is up. Usually this linebacker is back here, showing that he's going to disguise the coverage or maybe blitz. But because he's up, you know that he has one of these 2 tight ends in coverage. So Teddy Bridgewater has to let this play develop a little bit. The good news is the offensive line gives him some time to do that, right? The ball snapped. Teddy looks to his right, He doesn't like what he's seeing, so then he looks to his left, and right here, you're going to see Eric Saubert's waiting for the football. The ball, you'd like it to come out a little quicker. Saubert's open right here, right now, but because Teddy Bridgewater looked right at first, wanted to let the play develop, he was late to get the ball over. And then what I like too is Teddy Bridgewater took accountability for this interception. He said, hey, this is a throw I make all the time, 10 times out of 10. I just sailed it a little bit. And because he did, he turned Noah Fant, who's typically a tight end, into a tackler. Good tackle by Noah Fant, way to stop the bleeding real quick on a bad play. But this was a tough point in the game to have a turnover.
That was one of 4 turnovers for Teddy Bridgewater on the day. Hopefully he will improve this week. Now let's move along to the second half. The Raiders already with a 14-point lead, and this rushing touchdown by Josh Jacobs essentially sealed the deal for the Raiders.
Well, it's kind of a backbreaker too. Your defense is trying everything you can to win. Also at this point, Alexander Johnson's out. So you have Kaiser here at the linebacker. You also have Justin Stranad, but this play happens because of these 3 players. Draymond Jones is going to get pushed way back. You want to stand your ground. Sometimes even linemen will hit a knee on the ground just to make a pile, especially on the goal line. But then also these 2 linebackers are going to be late to read the play and overplay it at the same time, and that's what leads to the Josh Jacobs touchdown. So Draymond Jones has to get on the ground. All of a sudden, boom, there's a wide open gap right there. I mean, Alexis, I haven't seen you rush the football on the goal line, but I think even you could get through this kind of a hole.
I am pretty athletic, I will say.
Yeah, excellent job. Well, I believe you could do it. And again, you'll see here, Draymond Jones is going to get pushed almost to the end zone, and then the linebackers just don't create enough pressure at the line of scrimmage. That's really what you want to do. You overplay it, you underplay it, and there's the touchdown. So a devastating misplay by the defense, just some techniques gone wrong, and that created the touchdown.
Overall, though, the Broncos did defend the run well against the Raiders. Hopefully we see that Thursday in Cleveland. Now, the Broncos offense, like we've seen in their past 2 games, really found some momentum once the game was seemingly out of reach. 11:22 left in the game. It was great, though, to finally see Teddy Bridgewater and Courtland Sutton connect on a big play.
Well, it was great for the offense to still put pressure on the defense, still try and win, especially against the Raiders. I still don't like the Raiders. But I want to give you a couple of chalk talk points right here. You often hear of off coverage. This is what off coverage looks like. These corners are off the line of scrimmage, giving space, but also you'll hear safety rotation often. It looks like what they call a cover 2, meaning you have 2 safeties at top, but as soon as this guy starts being at a different depth, you know something's happening. So he's going to rotate down here, and that safety's going to rotate over the top. That lets Teddy Bridgewater know that he's man-to-man, and if you're going to be man-to-man, Courtland Sutton's the matchup you want. And then this all becomes Courtland Sutton at the snap of the ball. Not only does he catch the ball and get open, but then he runs through Raiders defenders, and just a little bit of positivity to look forward to next week against the Browns. So when this play starts, you're going to see that safety rotate down. Now you're giving the key to Teddy Bridgewater. He's changing the play. He's probably telling and knows in his mind he's going to Courtland Sutton. And then Courtland stops on a dime, gets the ball, and this is what I love. Whoop, missed you. Oh, look out. Bam! Get out the way. He's going to the end zone. Doesn't matter, you're down at this point. That's a great effort play, and it gives a lot of energy to the offense who was having a rough day. So some positives to leave the game with.
Definitely, and I know Teddy Bridgewater and Courtland Sutton have been working hard on their chemistry. Hopefully we will see that even more on Thursday. Thanks so much for your time, Ryan.
Always.
All right, well, coming up after the break, Ryan will join Lionel Bienvenu and Troy Rank to look ahead to Thursday night football between the Broncos and Browns. But first, the best still images from Week 6 captured through the lens of team photographer Gabriel Christus. Welcome back to Broncos Country Connected. The Denver Broncos have dropped 3 straight games and are now sitting at 500, heading to Cleveland for Thursday night football. With their thoughts on what the Broncos need to do to beat the Browns, here's Lionel Bienvenu and the Denver 7 crew.
Thanks, Alexis, and welcome to our Denver 7 segment brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Broncos insider Troy Rank is here, Super Bowl 50 champ and former Broncos lineman Ryan Harris here, as always, too. Well, guys, here we are 6 weeks into the season. The Broncos are 3-3. Nothing lost yet. The goals, winning season, playoffs are still there, but Troy losing those 3 in a row. The way they've lost, especially that Raiders game, sounding alarms in Broncos country.
Yeah, I mean, the confidence is shaken because of the nature of the loss. You just said it. They've been manhandled at the point of attack. They haven't been able to start fast in these games, and they're not built to come back late in games. So they have to figure out who they are, what their identity is, hit the reset button, and in some ways a short week can help that, Lionel. But yes, confidence is shaken, but the schedule still allows from elasticity here where they can get back into this thing.
Well, Ryan, the Broncos play again in just about 48 hours from now. There was no time really to dwell on that Raiders loss, or really no time to fix anything either. You played on a short week. You had a Thursday night game. What do they do coming off the loss of the Raiders in those 4 days between games?
Well, they got to recover, Lionel. So a lot of Epsom salts, a lot of water, a lot of Gatorade. You want to make sure that your muscles are ready to go, because even though it's a short week, it's a real game. And there's going to be a lot of energy in it because both teams are trying to prove who they are and if they're real and if they can continue to be in the playoff hunt. So you got to take care of your body, you got to hydrate, and you also have to have great mental meetings. You have to be in tune with the changes and the slight deviations from plays the week before. They do that, they'll be successful.
All right, Troy, there are two types of bad. One, you have bad players, and you're a bad team, and really there's no hope at that point. The second kind of bad is you have good players, and some great players, but they're just playing bad. Is this what the Broncos are, and can they fix what is bad and turn it back into good?
Well, defensively, you look at their personnel, Lionel, and there's no reason they can't improve. The secondary is the highest paid in the NFL, and they've just been wildly inconsistent, basically getting gashed on big plays. So with a second game for Ronald Darby coming off the IR, I expect him to be better. Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson improving on the back end with the communication. Von Miller has said it's on him. He wants this responsibility to get this team going again, so maybe a big sack from him. I love the fact the players are accountable, but as they know, Lionel, you don't talk about it, you got to be about it.
Yeah, Ron, you know that better than any of us. You played in NFL games. What is the longest losing streak you had when you played?
Well, unfortunately, Lionel, I was on a 14-game losing streak with the Houston Texans.
14 games?
We lost 14 in a row. It was bad. Strangely enough, it was with Gary Kubiak as the head coach. He wasn't the head coach all season, had a health issue. But at this point, you're starting to wonder about individually if you still have what it takes to play at a high level. And it reaches into the locker room, right? You don't know who you can trust. You want to make sure, are you friends? Are you not friends? So there's a lot of disharmony that's going on when you start losing and go on a losing streak. But the great news is you get an opportunity in just 48 hours, as you mentioned, Lionel, to get back out there and make somebody pay for your frustrations.
There's a lot of people, a lot of fans asking, is it time for a change at quarterback?
No, not at all, Lionel. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's been the same since his concussion, but also he was pressured 35 times out of 49 attempts. He was under duress all game long. There wasn't a ton of separation throughout the game by the receivers either. So this is about an offense getting on the same page, the offensive coordinator calling some better plays, some bread and butter plays as they call it in the NFL, plays you know will be successful. And they have to do that, especially on the road now. Crowd noise, that dog pound, that's a loud place to play, Lionel.
Well, yeah, the dog pound, though. There's some injured dogs over there. This game Thursday night, Broncos-Browns, the battle of the beatens, the beaten-ups. Really, I mean, Baker Mayfield has a left shoulder injury. Kareem Hunt is out. Nick Chubb is hurt. Broncos lost linebacker Alexander Johnson. Troy, let's talk about keys to the game here. What do the Broncos have to do to win on Thursday?
You got to keep it simple. If we talked about it, it's a short week, so you're not reinventing who you are. Get back to running the football and stopping the run. The only way you're going to beat Cleveland is force Baker Mayfield to try to beat you through the air. So you've got to stop the run, no matter who has been their backfield, because they run the ball well. And you've got to run the football. When you look at Javonte Williams, Lionel, and Melvin Gordon, they've both done a nice job. I think you stick with that and try to get to play action to make Teddy Bridgewater's job easier, because as Ryan said, you can't get hit this many times. Right. It's just not going to work for him.
Baker Mayfield or Case Keenum, whoever may be back there, Ryan. Look, 4-3 with the weekend off sounds great, doesn't it? How can it happen for the Broncos?
Well, first and foremost, this is a Garrett Bowles game. He has to do a great job against Myles Garrett. That's a huge defensive end in the NFL, makes a lot of plays. You got to stop that rush, stop that pressure on the side. And then defensively, Baker Mayfield has struggled against the zone. So I would incorporate more zone techniques and more zone coverage. Force Baker Mayfield to be patient, or whoever's playing quarterback, Case Keenum, and make those guys wait while hopefully Von Miller gets there with the pass rush.
All right, thanks, guys. Look, fullbacks in the NFL these days are like the snow leopard, rarely seen in the wild, but absolutely beautiful in motion. Denver 7's Nick Rothschild caught up with the Broncos fullback / tight end Andrew Beck to learn a little more about this mystery position.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Andrew Beck is one of the rarest players in the National Football League.
There are only 16 listed fullbacks in the entire league. It's like you're a little bit of a dinosaur.
Yeah, like you said, no, it's definitely a cool kind of badge of pride for me. I kind of take it that way.
In college, Beck learned how to use his hands to make a living.
Coach Herman was my head coach at Texas and always used to tell me, man, you're going to be a great fullback in the NFL. And I used to go up to him, I was like, there's no way, not a chance I'm doing that. Like, I'm only playing tight end. And obviously he was right and I was wrong.
He also learned how to use those same hands to make a difference.
I don't know if I could do the whole interview, but I could try. Yeah, I could try.
Sign language.
My name is Andrew Beck. I play football for the Denver Broncos.
It started as a hey, you got to do this, and transformed into a passion.
Fulfilling credit requirements turned into a chance to give back.
Managed to get involved in the community. There's a significant deaf community in Austin. Texas School for the Deaf is right in Austin, so we go there and work with the kids, and we went and talked to the football team a couple times, which was exciting. It makes you more aware of what people are going through, whether it's they are deaf or outside of that it could be something completely different. It speaks to that. You never know what people are going through, so kind of treat everybody with respect type thing. It just kind of built on that a little bit.
Beck hopes to continue his metacarpal altruism here in Denver. For now, he signs along to songs to keep his skills sharp.
It's funny because sometimes I'll get stuck on a word, I can't think of the word, but I'll remember kind of where the sign goes and stuff like that, and it'll bring it back to me.
Protect the hands at all costs.
Hopefully I don't break too many fingers. Keep it up.
You never know who you may inspire.
Still to come here on Broncos Country Connected, a look back at Alumni Weekend as we were finally able to celebrate the Ring of Fame induction of legendary head coach Mike Shanahan and the Hall of Fame enshrinement of the smiling assassin, Steve Atwater. Don't go anywhere. Over the weekend, Broncos fans were more than ready to celebrate the unforgettable careers of two of the franchise's most impactful people, former head coach Mike Shanahan and Hall of Fame safety Steve Atwater. Mike Shanahan was elected to the Broncos Ring of Fame in 2020 and finally unveiled his pillar in the Ring of Fame Plaza on Friday. Steve Atwater's Hall of Fame bus was brought to Denver for fans to enjoy as he received his Hall of Fame ring, while his pillar in the plaza was updated to reflect his legacy that will now live on forever in Canton. Here's a look back at the Broncos' star-studded Alumni Weekend festivities.
When I started playing football at 8 years old, I had no idea that one day I would wear a Pro Football Hall of Fame ring. This has been an amazing journey. The fans, the friends, the coaches, my wonderful teammates, my beautiful family have all made this so worthwhile and a dream come true. And Broncos Country, guess what? We could not have done it without you. Thank you, Broncos Country.
Thank you, Mike Shanahan, the winningest head coach in Broncos history. Brought an unmatched standard to this team and this city. His 14-year tenure as head coach of the Broncos was the most successful period in franchise history. Mike Shanahan will take his place among the greatest individuals in Broncos history. "21 years, with the greatest fans on this planet. Thank you for all your support.
Congratulations to both Mike Shanahan and Steve Atwater. We all know the history of this franchise would not be the same without you. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of Broncos Country Connected. For all of us here with the Denver Broncos and Denver 7, thank you so much for watching.